morning, everyone. If I can have everyone's attention for just a moment, it's just a 5-minute warning, and I just want to invite those that are able to stand, if you wouldn't mind providing your seat for those that do need to sit during this service. We'd really appreciate that. We do have some standing room available behind the couch and chairs over here, or in the hallway. I know it's going to be crowded, I know it's going to be tight, so we do apologize. We have a full crowd today, so try your best to just be mindful of each other, and we'll try to make sure the AC is cool as much as we're able to. But those up front here, just be mindful. We do have a videographer for those that are watching the stream from home. Just want to be mindful if you're near any camera. But we appreciate your help.
I know, but
offering up cookies last night. I know. Today. Good boy.
Okay, I do have a seat here for you. I just want to check out this news about it. I know you're looking at it here.
Yep. Actually, number 6 goes.
Yeah, sure. No, you're fine. All right, good morning again, everyone. At this time, I'd just like to make a reminder, if you have any cell phones or electronics, to turn them off or on silent or vibrate. We'd appreciate that during the service. And again, just to be mindful of those near the video cameras, as we have some folks watching from home through the live stream. In just a moment, Katie will begin us in the service today for Scott.
Good morning. My name is Katie Schwartz, and I've been a longtime friend of the family, and I've had the distinct privilege of growing up with Tommy, Allison, and Scotty Oatley. This past week has been nearly impossible for the family, and for so many of you. It's hard to wrap heads around the world without Scotty in it. It's hard to understand what a future feels like without his beautiful smile and his unwavering kindness. For all of our sakes, I wish this was a bad dream and that we would get to wake up and spend more time with him. I know it's been really hard for everyone. Truth be told, it's been really hard for me. But what isn't hard is gushing about Scotty and sharing how much he meant to the people who knew him. Scotty was a kind soul who always rooted for the underdog. He wanted people to feel seen, valued, and heard, always making sure all the kids at any age were included. He was always willing to lend an ear or a helping hand to someone in need, whether that be helping mommy carry groceries into the house, showing up for a friend in any capacity, explaining how a game works, even his game, how it works to a new player, helping his mom set up face painting tables, and gladly letting her experiment her new designs on his rosy cheeks. He watched hundreds of soccer games supporting his older siblings, had no problem keeping himself busy with a frisbee or a card game or his clay. Scotty had a great imagination. He was always building worlds of his own, anywhere he went. When he was a kid and before the basement was finished, all of us would build forts. And that was a time where, despite being the youngest, Scotty was definitely in charge because he had a vision. And it's his world. We were all just living in it. And we were just trying to make sure the blankets didn't fall down. He was building drawbridges and castles, slaying dragons. And I'm sure he's building drawbridges and castles in a better place today with Mr. Oatley, his older brother Danny, alongside grandparents and many more people who are now the lucky ones, just as we were for the last 30 years. Scotty was both really smart and quick-witted. He had the best facial expressions and responses with a large variance of different laughs for different occasions. His side eye, paired with a, oh boy, here we go, could make light of any situation. I remember once Aunt Marcia had a fire poker in one hand, glass of wine in the other. She was playing a riddle game on the carpet. All the kids were trying so hard to figure it out. Scotty quietly walked up and whispered the answer in her ear. And of course, he had figured it out before the rest of us. And I'm actually not sure if we figured it out in the last couple decades. That's a hard game, but he did. He proceeded not to brag or anything. He just picked up a cookie and walked away. As smart and kind as Scotty was, he was also really opinionated. He was tough to banter with, but easy to admire, because he believed what he believed and had no problem walking to his own beat and honoring his own belief systems and values. Even at a young age, it was clear he didn't need or even want any approval, and his authenticity made him shine and remind us all that our most authentic selves are truly our best selves. If you pair that with his charm and dimples, he could convince you of anything, or at least be a very worthy opponent on the other side of an argument or a hot take. For example, he made a really solid case for the carnivore diet, and last year promptly told me that my 10-step skin routine would just be better if I used water. Just water. The world may never know, but what we do know is that Scotty was an incredible friend to all. He has positively impacted so many lives in both big and small ways. There is no way to quantify the tremendous opportunity it was to know Scotty, or to receive a Scotty hug, or a Scotty arm around the shoulder lean. He cared deeply about his friends and his family, always looking out for everyone, always making sure everyone was safe. For example, last year we were driving in the van. His hair was blowing in the AC, music was playing, it was very calm. He was sharing a story with me when he suddenly looked up, very concerned, started white-knuckling the steering wheel. Right after that, he was like, "Are you buckled?" He made sure to tell me that drivers are maniacs, and then suddenly he became overcome with joy and laughter. He changed his POV to a question. "Is that Mommy and Allison?" I already knew how many two maniacs in a mini red Cooper on the dirt roads of Ann Arbor were hot wheeling to a rehearsal dinner. Just one. Granted, I'm not sure how far after they had started, but they definitely arrived ahead of the van. Scotty left this place better than he found it, and he certainly will live on in the hearts and minds of those who knew him. A tragedy requires a couple things: a sad ending, a main character you root for, and the sad ending leads to great suffering to all. Well, this is a tragedy because Scotty was so loved and adored and so rooted for, and he will be deeply missed. But I have to believe he is here with us right now, and that he can see us and hear us. And I want you to know, Scotty, that your friends and family will leave the porch lights on for you, and we will stand and wave goodbye. But it's not really goodbye. It's see you later. As everyone knows, Scotty was a mama's boy. We'd love to bring his beautiful, beautiful mother up here to share some words.
Dear family and friends, it is with great sorrow that we are here today because my beautiful baby boy, Scott Andrew Oatley, born October 28th, 1992, is dead. His life of 30 years was filled with love, happiness, friendship, and kindness to all. I am proud of Scotty for the man he was, and the man we all hoped he would continue to be. Scotty's future potential as an artist, husband, father, uncle, and all the things we hope for everyone in a long life well lived will remain an unknown. Scotty, a sculptor and artist from the beginning, first exhibited his extraordinary talent making a scorpion out of Duplos, while others his age were challenged by constructing a tower. Where the idea of a scorpion came from, I don't know. I guess I should have been monitoring something more. He continued making sculptures out of anything moldable. Play-Doh and clay, modeling clay. Both are very tough on carpet. But Scotty made any environment his studio, and he always left a trail of creative mess. Scotty was incredibly inventive and intent on doing things his way. He told his father and I at a very young age he did not need formal schooling and that he would teach himself. And thus, on the first day of kindergarten, Scotty was well wished off to school with his neighborhood classmates, while parents proudly waved goodbye to all. He then immediately got off the bus and came back home, unbeknownst to me. I would have left for work without knowing Scotty was back home, except for a neighbor who called and asked if I knew Scotty was back home. Scotty was also very self-reliant and unpredictable. We attended the auto show in Detroit one year. He was probably 4, and we did not know where he was. When he realized he had followed the wrong pair of daddy jeans, he took himself to the food court, and he was there waiting for us. Duh. It was the most reasonable place to be. A few years later, we traveled to Seattle and went on a hike in Mount Rainier. He followed his own path, again lost to us, but when we found him, he knew exactly where he was, completely unafraid of what the whole family considered a dangerous situation. Scotty always followed his own path. Other people's ideas of should meant very little to Scotty. I am very proud of my son. And how he did things exactly the way he wanted. However, it makes me very sad that it led him to taking his own life. Scotty had an illness, ending in his death. On August 29th, 2023. His mental illness, bipolar depression, became increasingly more serious until he could no longer tolerate the pain. All of us did everything we could to help alleviate his pain. To the extent we could and provide support for him, we did it. We did everything we could. And as our family has been reflecting on these past months, we have begun to realize Scotty was reaching out to his friends and family, letting people know in his own way how much they meant to him. We also know that he was in extreme pain. So this pain through his mental he was in extreme pain through his mental state. And so as a family, we do feel that he is now at peace and that it was unpreventable. For all the people here, I want you to know that Scotty knew your love, and he would want you to take any time you have to be used to remember him and to live your life and follow your passions. It is easy to fall into the trap of if only. And that lands us in should've, could've, would've. Our family and Scotty do not want you to get stuck there. He made his own decision, and we would like you to be able to feel and grieve, but also turn it into something positive. The energy spent on wondering what if, or the feelings of guilt that you could have done something more, can be better used as fuel to honor Scotty. Those negative feelings will not bring Scotty back. We want your memories and love for Scotty to provide strength and perseverance to go forward in your life as he would have wanted. We hope that all the light that Scotty brought into this world is remembered more than how he left it. We feel so confident that he was loved and that he loved you. So let's put this tragedy in perspective. And we hope you can heal and hug the people closest to you and remember the good times. I am now going to read the Lord's Prayer. Please feel free to join me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Or in the glory forever and ever. Amen. Thank you.
It's very important to the family to make sure we make space for each and every person in this room. So the next step will be if anyone would like to tell a story about Scotty, we'd love to hear it. But good news, if this is not comfortable for you, there's a luncheon after and the rest of our lives to talk about that beautiful boy. So feel no pressure, and let's be cognizant that there may be a lot of people that want to tell stories. And so with that being the case, if people would like to walk over to this area to line up, if you would like to tell a story, we'll bring you up one by one as the next part of the service.
Hi everybody, I'm Jacob. I'm a longtime friend of Scotty's, and I was thinking about a lot of different stories that we have, hilarious times. Going out with Scotty was always going to be one of the greatest nights of your life. And I was going to tell a story about how when Isabel and I lived together, when we were roommates, she's out of my league, so we were just roommates, and I remember that we were at odds. And I was going to tell you that Scotty was the one who brought us together, and I could tell you about all kinds of other situations like that. But I don't want to tell you about that. I want to tell you about something a little bit more important to me. So every young man has a conversation in his life where he decides what to make of it cosmically, how they're going to live their lives. And Scotty and I had that conversation when he was younger than me. I'm about a year older than he is. And we had this conversation, and it completely changed the entire trajectory of my life. And I just want to express the gratitude I have for his family, for all the wonderful things they did to create such a wonderful person. Because of Scotty, I feel like I am truly living my dream life. He just showed me that I could do what I wanted to do, and he gave me the confidence to do it. And I just want to say thank you so much, and I hope everybody feels better soon.
Hi, I'm Betsy. I'm Scotty's oldest cousin on the Oatley side. So I was 14 when Scotty was born, so initially, he was a little kid. But as he grew up, we really had more and more in common, and it was always fun to get together at family events and get to hear from him all the fun, exciting things he was doing. And even though, in comparison, my life was pretty boring and traditional, he always seemed interested to hear what was going on, with me and everybody else. And when we had kids who are about the same, my oldest is 15 years younger than Scotty. I'm 14 years older. So, but when we had the kids, he was equally interested in talking to them and making them feel like they were really part of the group and finding out what was going on with them. And we're really gonna miss his smile, his enthusiasm, his love for everybody, his bear hugs.
Hi all, I'm Alan Samaha. I've been a friend of Scotty since 1997. I thought I'd read a little bit from my tribute that I made to Scotty. So we were huge video gamers back then. We got stuck on Bomberman 64 because one of the instructions was to use friction and ingenuity. I was 6. I was like, we don't know what that means. So we'll figure this out. But then Mario 64, we kept throwing the penguin off the edge. We thought it was hilarious. But we gave his siblings so much trouble. I slid tackled Tommy's toe one time at maybe like 6 or 7 and caused you to fall on the couch. Sorry about that. And we might have wrecked Allison's room a few times. Also sorry about that. In 3rd grade, he came over to my house. We had the most legendary snowball fight ever. He kept recruiting people we didn't even know off of the street to keep joining in, and they'd go throw on their snow pants, and next thing you know, they're there. I could remember one time I was staying the night at his house, and I was there honestly so often. I had a bike there. I had my medication there. I had learned that Eggo waffles strangely go with cinnamon. But he, I talked my mom into let me, do another day, and Scotty goes, and another day, and another day, and another day, and another day. I was like, I gotta go home sometime, Scotty. But he was always so ready to hang out and to have fun. And I had him over at my dad's one time, and my dad shows him, my stepmom shows him this Arabic dish, and he goes, wait, no hot dogs? These aren't, what is this? So ultimately, I remember at that time, if it wasn't a hot dog, don't even think about it. He was a great guy, and he'll be missed dearly.
Hi, I'm Scotty's aunt, Ruth. Well, first of all, yes, Scotty had incredible, unique talent in his sculpture, as already mentioned. I was lucky enough to purchase two of them, one I wore yesterday and one I'm wearing today, necklaces. One of the things I want to mention, and this was at Allison's wedding and the day after the reception at Valerie's house. What struck me, everything's been said about how kind and generous and everything Scotty was. What I noticed at the wedding, because I was looking around, where is Scotty? He's not on the dance floor. He's not sitting and talking with us, whatever. I found him outside where there was some tables and a more, shall we say, mature crowd of people. And he was enjoying himself and having conversation with people that were older than he was. He wasn't with people his age or people who knew, and he was having a great conversation with them. The next day, at Valerie's, as everybody is sitting and eating, there was so much food, and it was beautiful and wonderful. Scotty was out there playing with all the little kids that didn't know what to do with themselves and had a soccer ball or something else. And he played for over an hour. I mean, it wasn't a couple of minutes. He just kept entertaining them. And it was time when people were leaving. Without being asked, Scotty just went around, started collecting food at the plates, folding up the tablecloths, and was just helping. And he wasn't even asked. And those are remarkable skills in a young man. And I just wanted to mention that. That will always, other than many other things, stick in my mind. We'll miss you, Scotty.
I met Scotty back in, I guess I met him in middle school, but we really reconnected back in 2013, playing tennis with a friend, and Scotty mentioned that he thought that I'd be a good fit for this card game called Magic the Gathering. And just this joy and excitement he had for this game really got me into it. I was immediately hooked, trying to think, how do I win? How do I best Scotty? But I bested him a lot because it seemed like that was what he was trying to accomplish. I remember just playing Commander with him. It was pretty awesome. There's this game where you play multiplayer format, 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1, so it's 4 people. And the thing Scotty would do was not try to win necessarily. It would be that he would try to prevent other people from killing someone else off of the game. He wanted everyone around for as long as possible in that game, and when he did win, it seemed like he almost did it on accident. Like, oh, I guess I win. But the most beautiful memory I have of that game was just the day Scotty came up to me and he told me, like, what do you think of the art on this card? Like, he didn't view it as just a game. He didn't view it as piece as just like a pawn. He viewed it as like a beautiful creation. He really admired more than just the ones and zeros of how do you win. So I just wanted to share that memories.
Hi everybody, I'm Devin. I'm Scotty's older cousin. I just know that for me personally, I never had small talk with Scotty. It was always a very personal. Scotty was so unique. I was able to enjoy, how unique he made me feel. I never felt like, I don't know, he just made me feel like it was okay to be, me. Because he was out being him, and he was out being him unapologetically. And that just made me feel like it was okay. And I know that every single one of us in here has had that Scotty moment where it was just okay to just sit and talk about the crap that was going on in our lives, and it was okay for him to sit and talk about the crap that was going on in his, whether it was good, bad, indifferent. He knew that each one of us had this special place that we could hold on to, something that he needed to say. And for that, I thank him for letting me be just the unique me and having a safe space. And for him to welcome, my daughter was 8, or he was 8 when my daughter was born, my oldest daughter, and my Vinny and Michael, everybody mentions how he just grabs on to the kids like Tommy. And I just always knew that my kids were going to be so very held on to and taken care of when Scotty was around. And for that, I am appreciative. And thank you, everybody, for coming. We know that he was really special to each of us. So thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Brian. I've known Scotty since 5th or 6th grade, and we used to cheat at euchre. He taught me how to do that, and I think, thinking about what Alan said, it's funny because it wasn't to win. It wasn't so that we could destroy everyone. That was just the game he was playing. He was playing by his own rules, and he was really good at it, and he wanted everyone to have a good time. He encouraged the other team to cheat too. So they could win too. Yeah. And yeah, we all have so many memories. I think the other thing I just want to say is that Scotty was so good at seeing things in people that they didn't even see in themselves. And I remember having conversations with him where he would talk about me, and I'm like, how did you know that even? And so, I just am trying to think of his memory as, a reminder for us to not live bounded by any rules. And, I think we can think about how Scotty saw each of us and even try to maybe discover the things that he knew about you that you don't know about you. And he'll live on that way. So.
Thank you.
Hi, folks. I'm Ken. I had the pleasure of spending time with Scott late last year. He was very excited about this thing he was coming up with. It was a game. I figured I'd go and try it out, dip my toes. Ended up being fully submerged in the passion and the sheer, momentum of this concept. And mostly I spent a lot of time with it. I have all the files. It's a beautiful game. It's a lot of fun to play. It's something that a lot of people can do together as a party. I'm trying to figure out some way that we can, people that want to try it out can get together and play the game, in its current form. And my ultimate goal is to try and figure out, if there's a way to digitize it or preserve it in some way and, really release it to either the community or just to the family. However that wants to be handled, but I think it's important for Scott to let his legacy live on in this game. So anybody that wants to, be a part of that, have some resources that might, be helpful, or know anybody that's interested in the concept of game making, get together with me or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or something. I think this is a cool concept that, it can still live on. So I'd love to see Scotty's legacy continue. So thank you.
Am I close enough? Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Perfect. All right. Hi, my name's Alan. I'm one of Scotty's Magic friends. I met him in late 2013, 2014, as I was just coming out of a bad relationship in Ohio, and I was moving back into Michigan, and I really needed some friends. And Scotty was there for me. I think Scotty was there for everybody in some shape or form, but it was really nice having, someone to particularly hang out with and to spend time with. And the one memory I'd like to share was there was a big Magic event, Grand Prix Detroit, and I kind of caught the short end of the stick. Didn't realize there was pre-registration, yada yada. I didn't get to go to the main event, and I was bummed out. And I got to play in a side event, and that kind of made my day. But Scotty wanted to include everyone, and so me and Scotty were hanging outside of the convention center, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go for a walk." And I was like, okay, sure. Let's go for a walk together. And him and I went and explored Detroit. And I had never formally been through Detroit in any way, shape, or form, let alone my first time in Detroit. I got to explore it with a good friend that wanted to show me around, and we just explored. And I thought it was very funny that you mentioned that Scotty went off on his own and blazed his own trail. And I got to experience that firsthand. I really got to experience Scotty as a whole that day. And I don't think I'll ever forget it. I really appreciated Scotty for what he was and what he did in his artwork. And I'm actually also thankful that I own a piece of his art that I'll be able to look at every day and remember him in that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I've known Scotty since St. Andrew's days when we were kids, and but we really got more close in high school, and I really we really connected with is our shared love of clay, and I was always really impressed by how much art he made, and he, like what Brian was saying, is he always made you feel so good about yourself, like as a fellow artist. You know, we would talk about each other's work, and sometimes I would get like, you know, well, about me, I'm a little bit of a procrastinator with my work sometimes, but he never made me feel that way. Like I would tell him what I was trying to work on or what I would do next, and he would just say, "Gosh, that's amazing, Sarah. Tell me more about that." And I'd ask him what he's doing, and he'd tell me all these crazy, amazing ideas. And there's this kind of school of thought in arts that everything you ever make as an artist is a self-portrait. And I mean, gosh, if you think of all of his work that he's ever made, what an amazing self-expression of his soul and just that bright light that he was. And I just feel honored to have known him as a friend.
And as an artist. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to share a story?
Hi everyone, I'm Peter. I've been a guy's friend for 25 years, since first grade. And I just wanted to share a core memory. I have many core memories from childhood with Scotty. But I just remember one specific core memory. I learned to snowboard with Scotty back when we were 11. And snowboarding to this day is actually, it's one of my main hobbies that brings me a lot of joy every year. And I would not have learned to snowboard if it weren't for Scotty on that day. Because I always tell people to this day, if you're going to learn that sport, you're going to be on your butt a lot. And it's demoralizing, and so you have to do it with a friend, even if you're learning together. Especially if it's a friend that makes it cool on the very first day. And that's what Scotty did. From that day forward, I loved snowboarding. Scotty would, every run, send it with style. And I just loved the sport ever since. But that's just a small slice of Scotty right there, an example of who he was. And I know that he touched a lot of people in a similar way, life, but in a much even bigger way. So Scotty, he challenged the status quo with a heart of gold.
Well, as stated before, at the luncheon or forevermore, please keep sharing all your wonderful stories. In the Oatley household, you can have a name on a birth certificate, and then you have the name that Mrs. Oatley gives you. And so sometimes, you know, people will call, you know, the name that they might meet in school or sports, but it's always going to be Tommy, Allison, and Scotty. And so I'd like to bring up Tommy and Allison.
If you don't know me, I'm Allison. Scotty's older sister. Tommy and I are so moved by how many people have supported us and all the amazing stories and laughs you've shared to remember our baby brother. We also greatly appreciate the generous donations to help preserve Scotty's art that we've all talked about so fondly through the GoFundMe page. We truly have no words for how sad this has been for our family. We are still processing this and will be for a long time to come. But one thing we know is it will be easier with all of the love and support from those with us today and forever forward.
As the oldest sibling, I would like to thank everyone for being a part of Scotty's celebration of life. One thing that Allison, Scotty, and I shared is summer camp. With that said, our family would like to close our time here together with a song from Store Camp that meant a lot to us, and we hope you will keep it in your heart.
Such a perfect night, it doesn't seem quite right, but it should be my last with you. September, I will remember my camping days and friendship true. And as the years roll by, I'll think of you and sigh, this is goodnight and not goodbye. I want to linger a little longer here with you.
Hi everyone, my name's Jay. I was Scotty's friend since the 10th grade. I apologize for not squeezing in before that song here, but I really want to share this, and I mean nothing but respect, and I know that as generous as Scotty has always been, he would forgive me. What a beautiful, original man. Always there for a wonderful, joyous laugh, or a deep, vulnerable conversation, opening up the opportunity for growth within one another. He listened to me when I really needed him, and I am eternally grateful. I know I'm not the only one. I feel as though he was always there for everyone, always, strongly supporting you, anytime, any place. Full of laughter, love, and positive energy. The natural talent within his sculptures, jewelry, and creativity is on a genius level. It is incredible the level of detail, complexity, and intricacies, and the rate at which he could complete his work. I was at a music festival with him once, and he brought all of his work and he set up an exhibit to sell his work. And the first day, the art exhibit next to him looked at all of his work, and they bought all of it from him. And he had a way of just such ease. The way he put his work together, it was such ease. The way he was there for you and supported it, just came so natural. And I played a ton of ultimate frisbee with him, and he had there's this throw. It's called the backhand. It's a lot harder than like your forehand, and he had the best backhand I've ever seen. And it came off so natural, just like all the wonderful things about him. And so may we all have that ease within our talent and passion moving forward in respect of this beautiful man. Thank you.
At this time, this concludes the service today in honor of Scott. I want to thank Katie for leading us in service today, as well as the pianist with the beautiful music and those that shared today. I know the family truly appreciates that. And again, to continue sharing about Scott at the lunch and after today, there'll be many moments to do that. Before we leave and go our separate ways, the family does invite anyone who is able to join them for a lunch and fellowship at the Doubletree by Hilton, Ann Arbor North. I do have maps with the address. It is on Plymouth Road, so if you Google, you can also find that address on Plymouth Road. If you need directions, we do have that. Before you head to the lunch to join the family, we do want to invite each and every one of you to come by Scott's casket one last time to pay your respects. So I'd invite those standing, if you would join us first, to come by his casket and exit out the doors here. And then if those, again, standing in the hallway as well, if you'd come in through the back door, come down the center aisleway here and exit out these doors again to head over to the lunch. And then we'll start with those seated in the back of the room so the family can have some time before they join you at the lunch today. Thank you.
Yeah, you just got it. We went to Starbucks after we left here, and Micah was like giving the people that were working there the mints, and they were like, "Where'd you get that from?" Like from your granny's purse, with tobacco on it, like.